Do you remember the time that CGC sent not one, not two, but 3 copies? Yes, 3 copies of Amazing Fantasy number 15 to the wrong person. It was quite the story, and it happened to a good friend of mine named Matt. What's up, everyone? I'm Guy, and this is our Comic Book Talk YouTube channel, and I was just thinking about that time in the summer of 2017 when I got a phone call from my friend Matt that went a little something like this. Hello?
You are not going to believe what happened.
What's that?
Remember how I sent all of those My Little Pony Friendship is Magic comics to CGC for grading?
Yeah, I do, and I still think that that was a big waste of money.
Well, whatever. So today I got a box from CGC in the mail.
And what happened? Did the post office destroy your box?
No, CGC sent me the wrong comics.
Really? What did they send you?
3 copies of Amazing Fantasy 15.
What the f***? And yeah, that's basically how the phone call went, especially the part about Matt sending his My Little Pony books in for grading. But the real question is, how does CGC wind up sending tens of thousands of dollars worth of comics to the wrong person? And I don't know. That's kind of tough to say. I mean, look, I know nobody's perfect, and we all make mistakes, and CGC can be excused for making mistakes too. I mean, we all tolerate pretty long wait times on their grading services, and we accept that their grading can be inconsistent at times, to put it nicely, but we still consider them the gold standard option in the industry when it comes to comic book grading. But while we can accept and overlook mistakes and shortcomings from time to time, no one should ever mistakenly send 3 copies of Amazing Fantasy 15 to the wrong customer. At least, that's my humble opinion. But that is exactly what happened that day. Now, the books were never in any real jeopardy with my friend. He's a detective on the sheriff's department and an all-around good guy. There was zero chance that anything was going to happen, anything funny that is, like stealing the comic books. That's out of the question. And we do live a short 2-hour drive from CGC's headquarters, so you can be sure that once they realized what happened, someone was on their way to pick up the books lickety-split. Now, this has raised some questions then, and it leaves those questions largely unanswered today. But how safe are your books with CGC? And if this is the first time you've heard this story, or a story like it, does it change how you feel about that question today? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. Do you have 100% confidence in CGC to be a good steward of your comics and collectibles when they have them? Now, the second question is, how often do things like this happen? I mean, there's a good chance that no one had ever heard this story if it wasn't for me and for my friend getting the books, if these books were sent to somebody else, especially when it happened all the way back in 2017. The size and the nature of social media was a little bit different back then, and while I did post this story on the CGC forums when it happened, it's not like that post got tons of traction. It was just on a simple private message board. So again, leave me a comment and let me know. Has anything like this happened to you or to someone that you know? I'm sure it's something that doesn't happen routinely, but I do wonder, how uncommon is it really? Now, as far as I know, CGC did make everything right for everyone that was involved. First, they did come down to Matt's house and they picked up the books. And don't forget, Matt was expecting his books, which never came, so he was given a considerable amount of free grading credits for his inconvenience and for being so accommodating in getting the books back to them. And when I say considerable, I mean a lot. Like, he got a shitload of free grading credits. Now, presumably they also got the Amazing Fantasy books sent back to the correct customer. And whether he was aware of the situation at all is a mystery to this day. But to the best of my knowledge, no one and no comics were harmed in the making of this story. Still, it is kind of f***ed up that this happened at all, and I'm not dogging on CGC. I still think they're the best grading company in the business. And if I'm using a grading service or buying graded comics, I'm always going with CGC first. But I can't quite understand how an extra level of care and consideration doesn't go into handling books of this caliber from the moment they're received till the moment that they're returned. Maybe once you've handled so many books of this caliber for so long, you just get a little bit complacent with them. I mean, as a kid, the first time I touched a $1,000 comic book, I'm sure my hands were probably shaking a little bit. But now, while yes, I can still respect what a $1,000 comic book is, it's not the same today. Maybe it's as simple as that. Maybe CGC could be treating all the books the same, regardless of value, simply because they deal with such a huge volume of comics. Like a comic worth $10 and 10,000 gets the same level of care. And if that's what's happening, while I wouldn't necessarily agree with it, I think higher tier books should be treated and handled differently. I can at least understand it, I guess. So there you go, guys. The story of that time that CGC really effed up, sent a pile of Amazing Fantasy 15 comics to the wrong customer, and then had to drive down the Florida Gulf Coast to pick them up before something really bad happened. Now, if you enjoyed this, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe buttons and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future Comic Talk videos. I would really appreciate it. And with that said, I'll go ahead and say thanks again for tuning in, and until the next one, bye now.